You should file it.
Yeah, when we do it, then
It's
we'll
just
review
your,
it.
no, it's nothing being transferred.
Tell me a story about your dad.
I might give you a courtesy copy when I get it.
No, it's to see where it is. I'm hopeful next week.
This thing here, Kevin, this thing replaces everything I got in here?
Yep.
Okay.
It's the newest version.
I forgot to say something.
That's a member of the council.
I don't know, these are nice, look how much smaller. So, yeah, there's a lot of space in this. Yeah, put these together. But
I think
that's right. And you have a whole bunch of these adjustments.
We ready to go?
Sorry.
Thank you for attending the Workhouse Planning Commission meeting on April 17th, 2024. This evening we have a short agenda, review of the minutes and the land addition plot at 31 Sheridan Avenue, and we'll start off with just a review of our Planning Commission meeting minutes from April 17th.
Sherry, were there any changes from the working minutes that were sent out? I'll move to approve the minutes from the April 17, 2024 meeting as drafted.
Any other comments? I'll second that. We have a motion and a second. All in favor of approval of the meeting minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
So ordered.
I'm going to abstain just since I wasn't here.
Right, and myself as well. Next on the agenda is the land addition plot at 31 Sheridan Avenue from David Kevin, or Kevin David.
That's your name. Cooper's name.
Do you want to just give a brief introduction, Kevin?
Yes. So you may recognize this a little bit. I believe it was either earlier this year or toward the end of last year, or sometime last year, that the addition to the rear, you'll see the dotted red line across, that was added to Kevin David at that point. He built a new house here, and he has since looked to get another piece of essentially the country club property, kind of creating kind of an L there. You'll notice that other piece is what is now in question, or now being asked to do, to be added. We looked at all the legal descriptions, seems everything that was submitted. We did, as usual, we did have a few corrections for the surveyor to send back and submit to us. But this appears to be in conformance with our regulations, and see no issue.
So is the remainder triangle here, is that staying with Country Club?
Yes.
Okay.
So that was a previous lot, platted lot, and the country club is not, they're keeping that little triangle.
I think, yes, that's my understanding, yes.
I did notice there's something wrong with the legend. In the legal description, it says the point beginning is in the northern right of way of Sheridan and between Borchers and David. That said that was a iron pin, and according to legend, that's a pin that was put in by T. Ryan. I think his legend has those two symbols mixed up.
The first and the second?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I will talk to Tim, and if you all would feel comfortable, as we've probably done in the past, if there's a minor issue like that, I can make sure that those corrections are in place before we release it, and then certainly have modified signature. I'll reach out to the chairman once we get that.
Yeah, it really doesn't change the survey, it's just the two don't quite jive as far as the legend goes.
Okay.
Can I ask a technical question, Kevin? real quick?
Absolutely.
On this survey, every time, what I'm familiar with a survey is anytime you go to a point of where you have to make an angle or make a turn, you have to have a pin, right? My one question then is it seems like at the northwest corner of lot 40, there's that he has a reference pin, but then he didn't locate the other pin to make that, to close that section. So my question is, did he not do that and should? Or did he do it and not document it? Or, that's my only question, because I don't understand how you can form a complete shape without going completely, through that, because that point that he references is not at the point of inflection or point of turn, the angle.
I'm not, I don't know, in all honesty, whether that is an obligation of him as a surveyor, to be quite honest.
Because either there should be one sat there, there should either be an existing pin, or he should have sat a pin, he
Okay.
should have, that's my understanding of my general understanding of surveying.
Yeah, I don't know, because there was a reference pin already in line with that he referenced the 5 foot from that. And there was really no change in direction that met, I guess a standard. There's nothing in our, let's just say there's nothing in our subregs that really says you have to put a pin there. It's maybe more common practice of the surveyor.
Typically, that would be under the conveyance stages of the county.
On their angle, on their end.
If there was a tree or something right at that corner and you couldn't put it in there.
Right.
I mean, sometimes
Right.
they could be,
But that would be
it
your reference point then.
should say that. And it does look like they located a couple trees along that line going to there. But yeah, I mean, that's the only, if there was some kind of,
I don't think it materially affects the lot itself, but it is common practice you would have some reference marker at the corner,
Okay.
not 5 feet from the corner.
I'll
Unless it was like you said, if it was an obstruction or something,
sure.
that you would typically call that out.
Okay.
Because, you could confuse the dimension of the 6286 going from pin to pin and not from pin to end.
Corner.
Versus,
And I think that can be addressed technical, just like your other comment earlier.
Just like the
to make sure
legend
that's
situation.
as long as it meets surveyors' standard of practice, we're fine, but I don't know that's specific. The only thing I do know is every description I've ever seen, anytime there's an angle, there's a.
Typically,
Yeah.
just
If there's going to be a motion to approve, I think you can condition it upon both the issues that were discussed and Kevin.
I'll make a motion to approve the land addition plat for Kevin David. The land addition from the country club property to lot 38 on Sheridan Avenue, with the 2 conditions that the surveyor review the legend and make sure that the pins as shown are correct with the legend and the legal description, and that he tell us why he didn't put a pin on the south corner of the lot that's being added onto David's. Or if there isn't an obstruction, then he should add that in the field. I'm a long motion.
we get the gist of it.
All right.
I'll say that.
Second, anybody else have any comments? Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the submitted plat with the conditions as noted by Jerry. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So ordered. Anything else, Kevin?
No, the next meeting, I believe council's going to be joining us on the 19th, if I'm not mistaken.
Is that a Monday or is that a Wednesday?
I think it's Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. It's our typical meeting
Our
date
typical meeting.
and time, and they'll be joining us.
That's the 19th.
Is that a council meeting or is that a planning commission meeting council's attending?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think we're going to advertise it to cover ourselves both ways, but it's a planning, for all intents and purposes, a typical planning commission meeting, so I think, they're attending our meeting.
The session yesterday went okay.
Yeah, they didn't quite complete, so.
I think I would be pretty dead after 4 hours, but.
Yeah, they didn't quite complete the discussion, so they're gonna actually have another meeting in between now and our meeting to kind of get through all the material. They originally, kind of had a plan to finish in 4 hours, and there was just a lot of discussion and just didn't quite get there. So,
Any hot items that popped out of there?
I think the same things we kind of, you feel the same things, and I think that there were some things that we kind of left on the table that they didn't quite get to and wanted to see our side of the story as the planning commission. And so I think it's going to be a good discussion, collective discussion on some of those topics that were, that we didn't have a clear direction for them on.
They're very plugged in. I was impressed.
So on the June meeting, is that our typical time, 6:30?
That's I believe so. I'll double check, confirm, we'll get out emails and follow up and everything, but I believe it'll be the same time.
Can I ask one point of order, just to make sure I'm aware? When we went through that process, should we have opened that to the public before we made a vote? How the system, to make sure I understand our process.
And I looked at the crowd to see if there was any interest in public comment. Technically, I think we should ask, is there any comment on that land addition?
Oh, no, we're good.
All right, sorry. As soon as we said for a second and then vote, I was like, wait a minute.
No, I understood. And
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Make a motion to adjourn.
second. Everybody?
Aye.
Thank you all for your time. This is a good old meeting. This is going to be a good time.
So this is the latest version, right? Like the most.
Yes, we just sent that to you via email. That's in